Well, I was sipping on a cup of bleach with a blacklight tube shoved up my rear end this morning. I thought I was coming down with something, y'all. Anyway, I was doing some thinking, and wait, it's that thing you do, y'all. Whenever you're trying to figure out a problem, trying to work through an issue. Never mind, never mind. Anyway, it turned out it was just allergy. Ain't nothing to worry about. So, anyway, I was thinking about these hurricanes that we've been having and all these wild stories we've been making up, Patriots, about how they've been conjured up by Democrats. Uh, First of all, we said it was a particle accelerator that was doing that, and I think it was Marjorie Taylor Greene that actually brought that up there, and it was a particle accelerator. And I was like, well, I could see how maybe somebody could come up with that because hurricanes is spinning circles and particle accelerators they spin in circles too. So therefore, particle accelerators are causing hurricanes. But at the same time, you could say that the spinning teacups at Disney World's causing hurricanes, or the carousels at Disney World's causing hurricanes. Race cars on race car tracks cause hurricanes. Anything that goes in circles might be causing hurricanes. So I was like, well, none of that really makes any sense there. Well, then, y'all, then it's space lasers, y'all. Then we come up with space lasers. I mean, that's another one of Marjorie Taylor Greene's favorite things to talk about, space lasers. And I was like, well, maybe it's space lasers then that they're doing it with, because I mean, they were talking about they used the space lasers, remember, to start the wildfires in Hawaii and Canada and California. Space lasers, Jewish kind too, they said. But anyway, so space lasers, and I was like, well, none of that makes any sense either. I mean, how you gonna steer a hurricane with a laser? I mean, that don't make any sense. And then I saw this dude on the TikToks last night, and he said that he was watching the airplane tracker on lines on the interwebs, and he said that he'd saw this plane fly up into this hurricane, and all of a sudden this hurricane intensified. And I said, the plane did it. And I'm like, well, that's crazy, because that plane was probably just a hurricane hunter plane doing the reconnaissance in there. And how in the world's a plane with a 100-foot wingspan going to affect a hurricane that's 800 miles wide? I was rationalizing, y'all. I was using my brain powers and stuff, try to figure this stuff out. It didn't make any sense. And I'm like, well, we must be trying to create some fake reality for ourselves. That's got to be it. None of this stuff could be true. Space lasers and particle accelerators and magic planes, and none of it could be true. So, y'all, I did the wrong thing according to the MAGA Code of Conduct, y'all. And I got on the Google machine, except that I didn't use the normal Google. I used the Google AI, the Gemini, and I asked it a question. And I said, what is the correct terminology for someone who can't accept reality, so they try to create a brand new reality for themselves? And you know what the answer came back and told me, y'all? That person is suffering from delusions. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. That makes sense right there, because then I started thinking back all the way back to Barack Obama, y'all. Y'all remember when we said that he wasn't no American citizen, that he was a Muslim, communist socialist that was going to turn us all into Muslim communist socialists. Remember that? And none of it ever happened for 8 years. And we said he's going to take our pew-pews away from us and stuff. Never happened. But we made a new reality for ourselves to make us think that he was going to, y'all, to make him the boogeyman. Remember that? We was being delusional about that. And then that same Barack Obama, y'all remember this? We said that he didn't have a good economy. That his economy sucked and all that stuff, that it really wasn't good, even though that he drug it out of the ditch that George Bush left him and everything, and it was a good economy. And we said, no, it ain't either. That 4% unemployment rate, more like 40%. And we was being delusional again, because, for one, we had to create us a new reality to begin with, because we couldn't handle the fact that America elected a black man for a president. I mean, that's just a fact. It blew our minds, so we had to create a fake reality. Secondly, this black president was successful too, one of the most successful presidents probably in modern history. We couldn't accept that, so then we had to create another reality and say his economy really did suck. Well, then, whenever Donald Trump come along and started pretending to be president, then we gave him credit for Barack Obama's successful economy, even though Donald Trump didn't do nothing to help anybody or help the economy at all, not one little iota. Hey, and if you can come up with anything that he did, I triple dog double dare to put it in my comments. So anyway, we gave him credit for that, because we knew that he's a big dummy and he couldn't do anything to help anyway. But we put him there because we wanted him to erase Barack Obama's legacy. So we was being delusional when we said Trump was successful with the economy, even though we knew it was Barack Obama's, but that was a black man. Can't do that. So anyway, more delusion. And then later on, we had the COVID pandemic happened, y'all. And guess what we did? We said, that right there, that's a Democratic hoax. That's a Democratic hoax right there. That's the George Soros and the Democrats. It's a Democrat hoax. Couldn't accept the reality. So we created a new one. Democratic hoax right there. That's being delusional again. See, more delusions like that. And then we watched Donald Trump on January 6th, whenever he told everybody, hey, march down to the Capitol peacefully. But he said, you better fight like hell or you won't have a country anymore 23 different times. Remember that? And then like 140 cops got beat up. They busted the windows out, smeared doo-doo on the walls, erected a gallows on the front lawn, threatened to unalive the vice president, all that stuff. And we said, you know what that right there was? That right there, that was a peaceful protest. Peaceful protest is what that was right there. That's being delusional because we watched it happen, then called it a peaceful protest. More delusion right there. See, now then, we've got this Kamala Harris lady that she's running for. I know she's black. Stop it. Or is she? That's my next point. Now then we say, well, she ain't black. Well, there you go again. It's more delusion because we can't handle the fact that America's about to elect another black president. So therefore we say, well, she ain't black. More delusion. She can be any color she wants to, matter of fact. More delusion right there. So what I'm saying is it's delusion. We can't handle reality is what it is. So we try to create alternate realities for ourselves, cause us to be delusional and suffer from psychosis at the same time. That's what's happening here, y'all. So it brings me back to hurricanes. What it appears to me there, patriots, is that we can't handle the fact that climate change is a real thing because we happen to be living through it now. So rather than accept reality, we create these fake realities for ourselves and say, you know what? That's them Democrats creating hurricanes with space lasers. That's them doing that. This ain't climate change. We can't accept that climate change is real because we've denied it for 30 years. And that would be awfully embarrassing, right? So we create us a new reality altogether. But yet at the same time, we had a president that we put in office that said that you could just blow up a hurricane with a nuclear weapon. No, that would cause widespread nuclear fallout right there. That is an idiotic thing to say and suggest, especially by a president. And secondly, that man tried to steer a hurricane with a Sharpie. And we think he's a good dude to run the country. More delusion. All right? So let's stop being delusional, okay? Hey, sometimes America votes for the person that's best suited to run the country, even when they're black. All right? So let's stop with the delusions. Let's get with the program and start being real patriotic Americans for a change. All right? Inmate Trump 2024.